All right. Good morning. Meeting is now called to order. Any items from the public? Need a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. On the purchase order log, any questions for Tracy? No? Mr. Wine, we have three budget revisions.
You do, Mr. President. The first one is from Chief Roberts, looking for approval to move $1,000 from his new equipment line item into his publishing or dues and subscriptions line item. The second one is from me. You have $10,000 worth of pass-through money for the Tuscarora Roriton from Delegate Hornby. So moving $10,000 from materials and supplies into contributions to other agencies. And the third one, if you can indulge me on this one, this is in your Fund 1, which is General County Taxed Fund, to move $200,000 from contractual services into contributions to other funds. As we discussed a few weeks ago, and I brought to your attention, your current Fund 19A, which supports payroll and expenses at the 911 Center, is struggling with cash flow. You currently, as of Monday, had $118,917 in that account. Your biweekly payroll was $133,000. So, as it stands now, you'll have a wireless distribution in early January. So, just so you understand, one of the purchasers on that purchase order log was moving $200,000 from General County to 19A. That budget revision just moves some monies around to do it. So probably the second Thursday of December, I plan to present to you a modification to your current ordinance and hopefully get your direction to schedule a public hearing and increase those fees. But as we've said now over and over and over again, you're being pushed against the wall for cash flow and struggling payroll in that fund, with that fund. So those are the budget revisions.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Have a change of status, hiring recommendation received from the Honorable Anthony Petrucci, County Clerk, for Christina Brittner as a voters registration clerk with an annual salary of $36,750, and that's effective 12/1/25. Hiring recommendation received from the Honorable Anthony Petrucci, County Clerk, for Kaylin Robinson as a part-time voters registration clerk with a compensation rate of $17.83 per hour, and that's effective 12/1/25. Hiring recommendation received from Brian Ross, Director of Community Development, for Larry Brown as a Building Inspector 1 with an annual salary of $50,000. It's effective 12/1/25. Hiring recommendation received from Brian Ross, Director of Community Development, for Carissa Frazier as a permit tech with an annual salary of $40,000. That's effective 12/1/25. Hiring recommendation received from Chase Weinbrenner, IT Manager, for Natasha Ureta as an IT Tech 2 with an annual salary of $54,943. That's effective 12/1/25. Change of status received from the Honorable Rob Blair, Sheriff, for Adam Boothby, Lieutenant, for a step increase for years of service with an annual salary change from $91,132 to $92,855. That's effective 12/1/25. Change of status received from the Honorable Rob Blair, Sheriff, for Jason Wolf, Sergeant, for a step increase for years of service with an annual salary change from $85,854 to $87,471. That's effective 12/1/25. Change of status received from the Honorable Rob Blair, Sheriff, for Austin Enos, Sergeant, for a step increase for years of service with an annual salary change from $79,718 to $81,959. That's effective 12/1/25. Change of status received from Tim Zia, Director of Community Corrections, for Benny Chacon, peer recovery coach, for a change position of a drug screening technician with no change in compensation, and that's effective 12/1/25. Letter of resignation received from the Honorable Rob Blair, Sheriff, for Jason Wilcox, Animal Control Officer, that's effective 11/20/25. And a letter of resignation received from Tim Zia, Director of Community Corrections, for Jeff Shank, Home Confinement Officer, that's effective 11/17/25. At the November 13 minutes, Commissioner Boyd was not present, Motion to accept the minutes for November 13th.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Abstain.
Let the record show that Commissioner Boyd abstained due to absence. So, bond release, Timberwood East, Phase 1, bond lots 1 through 16, BCP file number 2301-015, and that's tied to 2008-0172, that's number 011-19, number 2403-074, and 2105-166, bond number B 9125857. Engineering makes that recommendation. Bond request for Timberwood East Phase 2 bonds, and that's on lots 17 through 30. BCP file number 2209-271. That's tied to 2008-0172 and number 1011-19. And number 2403-074 and 2203-069, that's bond number B 9127091. Next one is bond release Timberwood East grading bond, BCP file number 2008-0172, that's tied to BCP file number 011-19, number 2209-271, number 2301-015, bond number 6003360. Engineering makes that recommendation. Bond recommendation and warranty start for Giles Mill Bank stabilization and channel restoration. That's file number 2509-280 and 2409-0159. That's bond number CBE 1049259. Engineering makes that recommendation. Bond recommendation to see Macaulay Crossing Townhome Phase 4, lots 85-143, BCP file number 2304-132, is tied to 2304-139. Number 2008-201-53-03, bond number 017245590. Engineer makes that recommendation. Bond reduction, Jackson Hills Towns grading, BCP number 2509-290, number 2210-292, number 2402-0259, bond number AL104357. And I hope somebody has some questions for Laura.
I think you answered them already.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Laura. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I so moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Ever say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Let's have it. Nothing from the assessor this week. Board of meeting reports, Mr. Boyd.
Well, I didn't have any meetings per se. I was in LA for the week working with the CVB and the West Virginia Film Office. A lot of long days out there last week, 9 a.m. till 6 to 8, 9 p.m. every day. We had a lot of great networking. Hopefully have some good leads coming here soon. Meet up and get some films here in Berkeley County and also in the state of West Virginia.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Hardy?
Yeah, I had a planning commission meeting on Monday night, standard planning commission meeting. We had a few public hearings. Didn't last a long time. Planning has seemed to slow down a little bit, but I think that's just a natural rhythm of this time of year. Things slowed down a little bit, but that was the only meeting that I was able to attend this week. I did have a Telemon meeting, but I was not able to attend that.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Whitaker?
I had no meetings that I could attend. It was all conflicting with other meetings.
Good. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Commissioner Callett?
Yes, sir. Last Thursday, after we met, had the pleasure of meeting with yourself at new Inwood Park site, and drove around in a little side-by-side with Senator Capito, and she was instrumental, along with Senator Manchin, in getting us $1.1 million of earmark money for that project. She's also, over the years, been very instrumental in protecting the land and water conservation funds through the Great American Outdoors Act. We talked about that, and it was just always a pleasure to be with her. She listens, she understands, and she does what she can to help us, and we appreciate her. Also, Thursday evening early from 4 to 7, the West Virginia Department of Highways had a workshop, they called it, at Hedgesville High School, which I attended, regarding the proposed roundabout for Ridge Road and Route 9 West at Hedgesville High School entrance. They had
The Route 9 Peanut.
Yes, they had three different proposals, and obviously the Peanut, to me, is the best plan, and I spoke to the engineer, and he thought so as well. So it's you're either gonna have one roundabout with 5 roads coming into it, or you're gonna have a roundabout with 4 roads coming into it, and then Cumbo Road coming past James Rumsey's still gonna try to get out on 9, which is impossible. The Peanut is actually like 2 roundabouts, and they're separated by some distance, so it gives you more room to get buses and more vehicles into the roundabout, and it makes most sense to I think those that attended, that's the course of action. That they have a period to December 15th to take comments from the public. I wouldn't say there's overflow there, but we were there for an hour and 15 minutes or so, and there were probably a dozen or more people showed up. Of course, the town of Hedgesville is represented by their council members, to me, this will be a positive thing, and the construction is scheduled to start in 27. The funding's already been approved through the MPO. And then in 28, the proposed roundabout's going to be there at Route 9 West and Harlan Springs Road, where Brudders is located. And I assume they'll have another workshop there. Also then Thursday evening, I had pleasure of attending the Chamber of Commerce annual dinner with Gary and Eddie, and enjoyed that evening. This past Tuesday, I was on WRNR talking about county interest and all the things we've got going on, and that I thought that went well. John and I were teasing about, we were questioning why we don't have more child care, and it's just something that I don't think this county government's willing to worry about at this point. We've got enough on our plate, so. And then also Tuesday evening, I had a sewer board meeting. The Hedgesville Woods Lagoon plant is operating really well. They couldn't be more pleased with it. The engineer still hasn't drank some water from that plant yet in front of us. He promises to still do that. So I've got him on meeting stating that. So he said he'll try to do it at the next meeting. He actually brought in a thing of iced tea, and I said, "Tell me that's not the treatment water you're going to drink." And and then we had a stormwater meeting following that, of course, and at this point, the appeal for the new permit was made by Richard Lewis, and there were no information back from him at this point as any follow-up on that appeal to that. The Stormwater District is in the process of moving forward, though, with getting the Back Creek Valley folks out of the stormwater building. And so there was a lengthy discussion in that regards. The next round of billings for those that aren't on public water and sewer is not scheduled till January. And of course, that won't take place this year, this coming year. So, and that'll be the second half, of course, of the fiscal year. So, and I don't know if y'all notice, I have a little bit of concern that the jail, we get this summary on the jail fees. July, we were 42,000 less than last year. August, we were 36,000 less. September, we were 10,000 plus, and we were 5,800 plus this time. So, and when I say plus, those fees last year were like an all-time high. So I hope that, I don't know what we can do, maybe speak to our court system, and I don't know if something that can be helped out or not, but I don't like the way it's trending. The first 2 months was wonderful, but the last two, not crazy, but still not good. So hopefully things will get better.
You don't get me started on the jail bill.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to stir you up a little bit today.
Might get a little worse this month. It's getting cold outside.
Yeah, I know, but the year before, when I say a plus, that they were all-time highs for this time of year, and then we got some things changed over there. They started, working on it towards it. So I don't know if there's any attention needs to be directed towards that or not, but
I'm pretty confident that the magistrate court system, with the support of Daryl
Is
Schultz,
still
is
on
still
it,
on
yeah.
target. And we see those, right? You
and
see
Daryl's been a big help.
unbelievable help, the judicial process, all of the folks in the building
Yeah.
involved in that, to include the prosecutor, all realize and understand how that bill affects your opportunity, your ability to do what you need to do. So I think right now, sir, we just keep our eye on it. I don't think there's any reason to have conversations. I'm confident. I just had dinner with Daryl last night, and
Oh, yeah?
they've got their eye on the ball.
Good. All right, thank you. Thanks for that, yeah.
Yeah, as Commissioner Cowett mentioned, we had Senator Capito, we kind of held her hostage for a little bit in the side by side, so we had her undivided attention, and she was very engaged, asked a lot of questions, and very excited about the Inwood Park, which she helped funnel some dollars to.
She got to enjoy all the limestone up there,
She
riding around
did.
over the bumpy limestone. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's limestone up there?
It's everywhere, yeah.
yeah.
That's all they're getting done.
Also attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting. I'd like to congratulate all those folks who received recognition. The fire board did not meet on that evening. There was not a quorum available. As far as the Inwood Park is concerned, they're still waiting on the geotech to look into the sinkholes. 2 different sinkholes have been identified there, and they are working on the fencing property right now. Let's see, Parks and Rec, we met the other day, and WVU made a donation to the pickleball action going on. So a $500 donation to go to nets and that kind of stuff, just for the care of the pickleball from a fundraiser that they did. Christmas in the Park is coming. The trees will be lit on Black Friday, and that's at War Memorial Park. And anybody would like to purchase a tree, those opportunities are there. Currently, they have approximately 720 children in their basketball program, and that's between the rec center and Randy Smith. So a lot of kids involved in the basketball. They have a rental discussion going on between Panhandle Powerhouse, which is a travel team, and the Jaredstown baseball field. They want to be able to use that field for the practice, and they're willing to do some work to make that happen on that field. So
That field's been there a long time.
It has.
And years ago, in the 50s and 60s, every community around here had a baseball team, volunteer baseball team, and they'd get together and play each other double headers every Sunday. Jaredstown had a team, and Tomahawk had a team, and Sleepy Creek, and Bakerton, and I mean, my dad used to play, and I'd be a little kid riding around on Sunday afternoon. You'd watch a double header somewhere in this area, and it was a big deal back then. And I have another question for you. You know why they call it Black Friday? I asked my granddaughters that, and they had no clue, and neither did I till I Googled it. And
you gotta watch that Google.
yeah, well, back in the old days, when they didn't have computers, they did everything in ink, their record keeping. And if it's black ink, that's a positive net. If it's red ink, you're losing money. So they call it Black Friday because
Everybody made
they
money.
made so much money on that day. So I just thought y'all want to know that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Goat. I have a reappointment packet received from Raleigh Hamilton with the Berkeley Senior Services.
And
I'm not sure.
Hey, before we move forward, can I say one thing?
Sure.
I forgot to mention this. I'm not sure that if everyone heard, back in 2020, there was a hit and run accident out on Blairton Road, and a person who is very important to that community. I apologize, I didn't know her, was killed, and it was a hit and run, and they've been working on that for the past 5 years. And with the help of a lead from the Ranson Chief of Police, Bobby Miller, made a phone call to our sheriff, and our sheriff then forwarded that to Deputy Dennis Jenkins, and there's been an arrest made in that. So that's a 5-year-old cold case file that arrest has been made in, and I don't know where that goes from here, but hopefully some justice will be served for the family that lost their loved one in Blairton. And from what I've heard from people in that area, that family was just really a kind of a fixture in Blairton. They had been involved in the quarry for years, and really knew a lot of people down there. So, but just wanted to give my appreciation to the Ranson Chief of Police, our sheriff, all of our deputies, Deputy Dennis Jenkins, and all the other deputies involved in it. That 5 years later, we're working towards some closure on that hit and run. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a reappointment packet received from Tracy Regalia with the Berkeley Senior Services, and a letter of resignation received from William Klingles Smith with the Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority.
Yes, sir. I would like to make a motion to reappoint Raleigh Scott Hamilton and Tracy Regalia, both to the Berkeley Senior Service Board. They both contribute, are always at meetings, and do a great job there. So I would make a motion to reappoint them.
Very good.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion and a second to reappoint Mr. Hamilton and Ms. Regalia. Any further discussion?
That was Ron Collins' favorite board that he served on when he was commissioner.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Can we send out a letter, thank you to Mr. Smith, service to the Transit Authority Board?
Please, thank you. All right, next up is our honorary commissioner, Mr. Trevor Gardner.
Good morning,
Great
sir.
Christian Academy.
Ron Collins' grandson.
Know that?
You a basketball player?
No, sir.
No?
Well, I've known your family most of my life, so, yeah. So we're gonna swear you in here. If I can get you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Trevor Gardner,
I, Trevor Gardner,
do swear or affirm
do swear or affirm
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
that I will work hard to fulfill my responsibilities
that I will work hard to fulfill my responsibilities
of the office of Honorary Commissioner,
as the office of Honorary Commissioner,
to which I have been appointed.
to which I have been appointed.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much. So we got a little certificate here for you. We'll get a picture. If you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you go to school, and
I'm right now, I'm a senior at Faith Christian Academy, and my plans after will be to go to boot camp for the Army National Guard, and after that I will attend Blue Ridge, and then from there I'll go to Shepherd or WVU after.
wow, which Army National Guard unit? The one here locally?
The
or-
one here locally. yes, sir.
Okay, so I
I've been
served.
talking to Sergeant Brett Williams.
Yeah, I served in that unit for 8 years.
So is that the 351st?
Well, it was the 157th when I was there. It was the military.
military group, but we
Yeah.
have a 351st Ordnance Division over on Maryland Avenue.
No, that's reserve. He's going guard, which is
Yeah, not reserve, yes.
Oh, you're going reserve.
National
Okay,
Guard,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
reserve.
Yeah. So.
Jerry Williams was in that reserve.
Mhm.
Yep.
So you've got a plan.
I do.
Yeah.
Best wishes to you.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
great.
Great. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being here today. And if you have anything that you'd like to chime in about while we're talking today, just feel free to do it. I always tell most of our honorary commissioners, so Mr. Catlett will probably make a mistake somewhere, and feel free to correct him. So.
All right.
All right. Well, it was nice meeting you, and
Nice meeting
thank
you,
you very
sir.
much
Yep.
for being
Thank
here
you.
today.
You just can't leave it alone.
No, got to stay on him, keep him straight.
You can't leave it alone. And I told you about what Black Friday was named.
Yeah,
I
set us
called
all
that.
straight.
You don't even appreciate it.
All right, next up.
No
One.
No respect. No respect.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the first item I have for you is we're looking for some direction from the commission, not necessarily an approval but some direction as to whether or not there's any appetite from you to support Parks and Recreation additionally than you already have budgeted this year. There's been several conversations, several requests. everything from an additional $800,000 request down to $600,000 or $700,000. So I think, and Mr. President, you've been involved as well as Vice President Catlett, so I didn't do read ahead because it really isn't my item, but more so, I think everyone can weigh in and kind of see what the consensus is, and if you'd wish to have a purchase order on one of the next meeting logs and get some more funding in their pocket for operations, not for growth.
Yeah, I had sent Mr. Burton a message about getting us a list of projects that he needs to get completed. And I asked him to keep it, maybe around the 200,000 mark. So Steve and yourself met with the city manager, Andy Blake, and the mayor, who's honestly a great partner with Parks and Rec. And but between the two of us, the two agencies, we just felt like there's some things that we need to help with. And I would certainly open up the conversation. I don't know if I know all the answers that you may ask, but I would like to be able to help them. They came before us and requested, a levy, which we weren't in favor of. But I know that they have needs that need to be met. And, I just think that from an operational point of view, that we need to be able to help them.
Yeah, I don't think we should look at it as revenue to do a one-time revenue for a specific item or do this or that. I think this is to up the ante towards their operating budget annually, which currently we approved this year $200,000 plus half the hotel tax. And obviously, when they open up Inwood Park next year, that's certainly not going to be even close to enough. But I think it should be an additional amount of money given this year that is part of the our contribution from our operating budget for their operational funds and a budget. And with the understanding that we're going to have to maintain that and even increase it probably next year again, obviously, with the new Inwood Park coming on board. So,
And don't forget about, they're already maintaining Hoax Run Park.
and
That's a new
we've
park.
asked them in the last few years to take over and maintain down at Stonebridge, the acreage there that's owned by the DNR for the access to the people that use the Peckin Creek there. So there's been a lot of requests to obligate them to do some things for the county, and I think we need to fund them adequately.
Yeah, and they
in the
haven't
future.
said no to any of their requests.
They have not.
They've taken on a 10-acre at Hoax Run, which I know there's not a tremendous amount of effort there, but the bathrooms and the trash, those things they maintain there. And as Steve mentioned, down along the Stonebridge, and I go that way from time to time, and it's always well kept, and it looks nice. It looks nicer than it's ever been.
And what's even more important, it's well used. It's unbelievable the number of people that use it during the summer months. I mean, it's packed on hot days, summer days. So.
At Stonebridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be an avid canoeer and kayaker, and that was a good put in and take out spot.
Well, we're trying to, a couple of years ago, the DNR was going to put in a concrete boat slip ramp and then pave the parking lot. And because of some stormwater issue things, it didn't get done. Well, we've gotten beyond that now. That the stormwater commitment on their part doesn't need to be take place. And so we're trying to recoup those funds that they were going to commit a couple years ago back to that project, which would be a big plus down there. And so we definitely need to up the ante at Parks and Rec. And
What was their ask?
well,
The email to the president was about 800,000.
Okay.
and half the hotel tax.
Well, you're already committed to $200,000 plus half of the hotel motel,
Well, the
which this
request
year
was-
is going to be about 750,000. But you have an additional request for another 800,000 was what they asked for.
Yeah, it was $1 million.
And was that same request sent to the city also?
Yes, and the city, just for the record, has contributed an additional $1 million to their cause over and above what they had committed to in their budget.
One-time money for operations?
I can't speak to one time, but I believe the
No.
answer is yes.
It was one-time money, not for operations, but for the repairs to the pools that are going on right now,
Okay.
both pools. That was almost 400 and some thousand in itself, the
But
repairs.
the million that the city is kicked in was what the city kicked in for their annual budget.
Over
Or was
and
it
above.
over and above their annual budget for pool repairs,
Mhm.
for both the pools that reside in the city,
And operations, additional operations.
additional operation?
Yeah, but it's a combined, I mean, as you well know, it's a combined service. It's
Yes,
not
I know
city,
that.
county,
Yeah,
park,
it's,
so
it's county, city, and school
very much
board.
so.
Yeah, so, I don't know where you all are.
I don't think we can go additional $800,000.
No, I don't think we
At
can.
all. I was thinking more of anywhere from 300 to 500,000 more. Or maybe go 300,000 this year and then wait and assess what the needs are gonna be with the new Inwood Park for next year and increase it more. So, at the very minimum, I would like to see us at this point in time commit another $300,000 if you're comfortable with that, Gary.
You could do 150 from coal severance and 150 from your general county contingency if you like. And would you want to disperse that at once? Would you want to disperse it?
Like you do your quarterly, you already
Quarterlies.
paid your second quarter, was on the
We did, it
agenda
was on the
last
agenda
week.
today. Mhm.
But maybe we could give him some back, divide the amount now by 4, and then pay him, another check for what the difference would have been. And then in the next 2 payments would include that new amount, but so I would, if you're good with 300,000, I would make a motion that, we add another $300,000 to their operational budget this year.
Before we get too far here, like, so this is $300,000 to get through this year.
Mm-hmm.
And our year runs from,
Ends June 30.
June.
okay, so that gets to
July.
June 30.
Yeah.
And then we are thinking next year, when the new park, I don't know if the new park's gonna be open by
In
June
the
30
fall
of
next year.
It'd be fall.
It'd be
Right.
fall.
But then we're gonna, but that 300,000 would, are we talking about adding that to next year's budget too?
I would think we need to, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think we can just do it this year and not in the future. Obviously, they're gonna have more. So in other words, if we go 300 now to add to the 200, our commitment for this year would be 500,000 plus half the hotel tax. And then you start out at budget time thinking that's where you start, and then do we add more because of the new Inwood Park?
So the half of hotel motel is 750,000.
No, it's about 550, so all in.
All
right now,
in,
you're
we're 750,000 for operations and, capital. That's the full
That's what you
Monty.
give them this
Right.
year, yes, sir.
But we'll have more money towards capital.
Or operation.
Impact.
But we'll have more money towards capital coming from,
Impact. fees?
impact fees
After it pays the land.
after it pays the land, the new park
Yeah.
off. I'm just trying not to get out over my skis here. I want to know exactly where I'm at financially here.
Yeah, and, the Parks and Rec will need to give us a budget, estimated budget on maintenance and operations for both Oaks Run and the Inwood Park. So
Sure,
we
they'll
know
have to
about
show us
where we need to
what it costs to operate those two parks. And also remember, they have some, maintenance stuff, deferred maintenance that they're, a lot of deferred maintenance that they're working through,
Sure.
so.
Well, if that's the direction of the commission, if it be a motion, if there's one on the
Yeah,
floor,
I have a motion,
So that put us just over a million this year
would.
between
Total.
hotel, motel, what
Total.
we already gave them and what we're gonna add on.
Put us
I think
over, and then they're receiving about, what do they receive from the city?
I don't know their total allocation. Steve,
Yeah.
do you?
Probably 1.5 if they gave them a million
Well,
plus.
They get half their hotel motel.
Yeah, they get half their hotel too, and then they budgeted another 700,000, okay? But then there's other monies on top of that for the projects we were talking about, the pools and stuff.
Right.
Now,
So
their-
all in, it's about a $3 million budget,
Their hotel, yeah.
about a $3 million budget to operate all the parks.
You count what they generate, I think it's up to about 4 million now.
Right, well, yeah, and listen, eat what you kill. I mean, whatever they generate, that's wonderful.
So, but yeah, the city is, with their hotel tax and all, is just in a little around a little over $1 million too,
And you said 150,000.
just for operational now.
Right, you said 150,000 would come from coal severance,
That's correct.
which is kind of a pot of money that we use from time to time when these type of things.
That's right.
And I'm just asking because, you know,
Please.
I'm working through the process and I'm learning as we go. And then the other $150,000 would come from our contingents. We have a contingency
In general
fund.
county, that balance after the state approves your last budget revision is just around $600,000.
Okay, and that's our contingency
That
fund.
is correct.
Okay, any other discussion or questions?
And I still feel that the property transfer tax will come in higher than what we have budgeted to this year, at the rate it's going, so I feel comfortable in doing this 300,000, I really do, as long as Gary's comfortable with it. I feel comfortable with it.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Next up, Gary, is the land water grant.
So while we're talking about Parks and Recreation, your Inwood Park project is gaining attention from all directions. It isn't often that the folks whom have monies available reach out to you through your very good partners at Region 9 and say, hey, why don't you apply for some land and water grant funding to facilitate completion of the Inwood Park, excluding the splash project you talked about. So when we got the concept plan for the Inwood Park, that number was about $2 billion, and everybody's eyes rolled up and faces glazed over, and we stepped back and we went back to the drawing board and we started doing some redesigning, and then some grant money started moving, and fast forward almost 2 years later, you're in the middle of a almost $7 million park that will be done in the fall of 26. While this is going on, and again, you've had senators on site, governors not being here, but everybody, if you go to Inwood, I'm surprised there aren't signs up in every business down there. It's a topic of conversation all over the place. So you have been in contact, and Region 9 has been in contact, said, hey, there is a great probability that if you want to apply for the other features of the park, excluding the splash playground area, we're confident that you might qualify for some monies that we have laying around that are available from the land and water. So they said, could you put prices to the three elements? It is the amphitheater, the large $1 million playground area, and then the full-size restroom area up on that end of the park. You already have grant feelers out for the bike park area, the additional pickleball area, the multi-purpose field is kicking around. So you've got grants and applications everywhere. So they come in. So long story short, those three large amenities generate all in cost are right at $2.977 million. As you know, the land and water conservation money is dollar for dollar match. So you can double your money if you so choose to make this application, which again, I feel really confident that if this body decides to apply, you're probably going to get the award. You'll be done with phase one and probably contractor offsite. This will be something that will go out to bid more than likely this time next year for award, and then that money start to move in the spring of 27. So it'll be the true phase two, but you have in this, if you choose to do it, it will be a $1.488 million commitment, $1,488,998 commitment by the commission. That can be your money, could be blended money with public money and private money that want to donate. You'd have some time to go out and find the match. But if you want to do it, it's a dollar for dollar match, and it would pretty much complete the Inwood Park. It would be the only destination park in the county, probably.
So about 1.5 million.
Correct.
So Gary, this park, because it would support the TIF, has an
TIF monies.
opportunity to be able to use TIF funds.
You
Is
do,
that
in
correct?
fact. You do, in fact. So if the commission wanted to apply for the grant, knowing that your commitment, whether it would be the entire 1.4 million or pieces of it, TIF monies would be available.
There's enough TIF money to make the complete match.
There is right now.
Complete match, right.
There is enough there right now.
And is there any other projects that we had that money slated for?
You have it earmarked, that there's lots of topics of conversation, but the purpose of that money, right, is big infrastructure. I mean, that so you would probably let it build for a while and then begin to use that monies for debt service support. But no, you've already contributed to the gas line for the one project at the other end. It was $50,000. So that's all the money you spent out of there.
Right.
And that TIF right now is just, I think it sits about 1.6 million in the cash account for it.
Right.
We could still look for private donations, right?
That is correct. I know the president has been in conversations with some folks, and you have lots of time to come up with the 1.5 million.
Not like we got to write a check next week.
You do not, but it's also nice to know that if you wanted to assume the entire amount, you could use your TIF monies for that.
And we're not going to hamstring ourselves somewhere down the road with the TIF if we needed to use that to get water or sewer or
Correct.
something on the other side of the interstate for any of the other projects.
Well, no, but as you move forward over the next year and you're in conversations about those monies that are in there, you know, if that money is part or all of this, you want to be cognizant of the fact that it's already pre-committed, similar to what you did
Sure.
when it became available to reimburse the development authority for the gas line. On the north end TIF, you know, you're talking about the public safety buildings. There's many asks for some of the north end money, and it's not performing as well as the south, but you just, as you all know, you just made a change to it. It'll perform better next year. But this commission already said, hey, the first commitment of the north TIF money is the public safety complex.
Right.
And then you've got requests for some water upgrades, traffic signal and light. There's all kinds of things up there, but you've prioritized. So if you take action and you want to do this, I think you would probably prioritize that money for this until you found other sources of it, because you are not in a position, in my opinion, to cover the extra 1.5 million out of your current operating expenses. You don't have that.
And how much does the TIF generate per year?
Well, the south one right now looks like it's about 1.2.
Okay, so it's almost in 1 year that it will replenish itself.
That's correct.
It's not like it's a 3 to 5 year replacement. So if we put this money, allocate this money towards this project for the park, and we know it's going to take a while for all this to come to fruition. It's not like we're tying ourselves up for 3, 4, 5 years. It's one budget cycle will pretty much generate the cover through the TIF.
And that's kind of the same thought process that you went through last week when you talked about your land acquisition and using your impact fee monies. While you are committing and spending significant or large amounts of monies, those are the monies that aren't your operating money. These are special revenue monies that are used for special projects.
Right, and we've identified within 2 years.
Payback.
Right.
It's a dollar for dollar match. It's kind of hard to-
It's just ludicrous
Turn
not to
your
go
head.
after this funding in my mind when it's there to grab and get it done. And at the same time, that money's not going to be needed for over a year from now. If we get some private donations in the meantime, that's just less that has to come out of the TIF.
Yeah, we're just allocating it.
Right.
Earmarking it, if
Earmarking
you will.
If you're going to commit though to land and water, you got to have a guarantee you're going to have the money for the match if it does get approved.
So if you do decide in the motion, please give the president the authority to sign all necessary paperwork, because there's a lot of it.
Well, I think this is a good exercise in this commission working to leverage our dollars to be as strong as they can, to go out and not over leverage ourselves, but we are using the agencies that are involved and that have this money available, and we are leveraging our position to be as strong as our position can be with the funds that we have. I mean, it's, you know, you're leveraging dollar for dollar, you know, and if we see that we can replace this within 1 year of the TIF's revenue, I think it's probably a good spend. I think, and it kind of puts the Inwood Park
About 80% complete.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be things we're going to continue and want to do and some stuff we're going to add, but I think that it makes good sense for this commission to try to take the dollars that we do have, the money that we do generate. It's just good business to be able to leverage those dollars to maximize them.
And using sources of revenue that was never available in the past.
Sure.
But now they are.
Right. I mean, you know,
Because we couldn't begin to do any of this if it's just up to our operating budget. We couldn't even begin.
yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. 7 years ago, I knew nothing about a TIF or a STIF. I had no idea what they were. They are a good way for municipalities and counties, political subdivisions to be able to leverage future growth of a property to be able to generate revenue.
I think that, the people paid into these tax dollars paid into the federal government, and when we can bring them back here for a dollar for dollar match, and we're financially strong enough to be able to do it through the TIF, I think we're almost at a disservice if we don't try and accomplish
Land and
this.
Water Conservation Fund money at the federal level comes from offshore welling funds from the Gulf of America or Mexico, whichever one you want to call it. And that's where it's always come from. And a lot of that goes to our national parks. So when they passed the Great American Outdoors Act a couple years ago, they were trying to protect the stateside revenues, that each state got revenue from this source of funding that was in jeopardy of losing it. And it was protected in that bill. And so what it meant was when, for 20 years, West Virginia was getting $300,000 or $400,000 a year for park projects, we're now getting a couple million plus a year. That before for 20 years was only 300,000 or 400,000. So, and obviously there's a lot of places in West Virginia that don't have matching funds to take advantage of this funding source, but we're in a position to do it, and I think it would be crazy not to. And I seem to be the one always making the motion on park stuff. I'll be glad to do it again or pass that on to someone else to make this motion, but I have more focus on this than child care, I can tell you that right now, so.
Yeah.
All right, what's your pleasure?
I'd like to see us move forward and to give the president of the commission authority to sign all the necessary documents to apply for this grant.
That's a motion
That's the motion
for the full amount,
for the full amount.
and I would second that.
Been motioned and properly seconded.
Just, I want to say one more thing before we vote here. This, again, is another opportunity to thank Region 9. Most people in this community have no idea what Region 9 does. They don't even know that it exists.
Yep.
And, I sat on that board and I worked with Region 9 in my past career, and people do not understand how important Region 9 is to the grants and the monies that we are able to leverage to bring to this county to be able to buy nice things and build nice things for our taxpayers.
Yep.
So I want to just a shout out to Region 9 and all the hard work that they do.
Well, not to prolong it, I've been looking on here that, it has brick paver sidewalks, handrails, things like that. And it costs per brick. And the work I've been doing up in Emmitsburg, they have a memorial walk where these brick pavers are put in and names are paid to be put on these bricks to memory or in honor of a fallen firefighter. I'd like to think we can see what it would cost us to have a memorial walk. If anybody would like to buy a paver and put somebody's name on it, have it installed, and it would be one way of offsetting another cost to that, to that project. It's not very much. It's a limited number of bricks, but still.
Well, you could do it on a walkway, you could do it on a wall.
Or a wall.
And a wall, it's easier to maintain than a
Yeah.
walkway that gets filled up with debris and
Yeah.
soil. But,
Just a thought, but I'm ready to move forward with the motion. Think about, we could do something.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it, thank you. Next up is Historic Courthouse.
Yes, sir. You have a request from Blackbird Movie LLC for use of your historic courthouse to do some scene footage. Your legal team has provided a use agreement that covers you, that needs signature of both them and yourself. Time window is kind of the December, January timeframe, correct, Mr. Boyd?
Yes, sir.
And we'll facilitate access if you choose to let them use it, and you'll have your old courthouse being a movie.
I'd like to see that.
We're
Pretty big
good
movie,
on,
too.
Yep.
on our lease agreement and all that, right?
Use agreement?
Use agreement.
Yeah,
I think
provided-
it's a wonderful thing for the community. Remember in the days when Sweet Dreams was filmed here in Martinsburg, parts of it and all?
Little town with a buzz, wasn't
It
it?
was unbelievable, and, yeah. In fact, my brother-in-law played a piano in the one scene, and my sister and, and his sister were in a scene too. They used, like, obviously local people. But Sweet Dreams was an awesome movie about Patsy Cline, of course.
Yeah, they'll use some local people, but they actually have some big stars coming up for these next three films. This first one, they have two big names in this film, and then films behind that, a few more. So
Yeah.
there's big things coming in the film market to Berkeley County, Jefferson County, and West Virginia as a whole. They just actually filmed a pilot for the new version of Prison Break at Moundsville Prison. Disney and 20th Century did that, and Hulu bought the pilot, and they're going to go for a full season. So there's a lot of good film stuff coming to West Virginia with these new tax credits that the legislation set up for us, and we've been out there working hard 3 years now, getting these people here, and it's starting to pay off.
They spend a lot of money in our community while they're here too. So,
They do almost 30 million over these next three films.
yeah,
They spend
that's
here
awesome.
in the local community. Even on their payrolls, they do use, they get West Virginia LLCs and use West Virginia payroll companies. So everybody who works, including the top actors, they pay taxes in West Virginia. So all that money, all the taxes stay here in West Virginia. So even if they rent equipment, there's equipment that they cannot get in West Virginia in general. Like if they need cameras or other things, and they rent it through rental houses in New Jersey or Philly or Baltimore, they order it through a pass-through company here in West Virginia, pay their sales tax on those purchases here to West Virginia. So all that money, that's the incentive for the tax incentives for West Virginia offers a 31% tax credit to these filmmakers, and 27 of that's guaranteed, 31 if they hire 10 or more West Virginians to work on the set. So
Well, I can tell you there was a delegate at the time, and she now works in Governor Morrissey's administration. Her name is Diana Graves, and she's from the Kanawha County area, and she was instrumental in working the legislation for the tax credits for the film industry. And our own Ken Sayer, who is legal counsel for the city of Martinsburg and is a local lawyer here with Bowles Rice, really worked that legislation in the Charleston area, knowing the importance of the film industry to West Virginia. So I'll have to say that legislation moved slowly, but when it finally got some legs, and they were very instrumental in that. So here we are 6-8 years later, and it's starting to come to fruition. So.
well, 3 years of the film office being back open.
Yeah.
And the first year,
And I'm sure Randall was involved.
yeah, and then I pushed to get our CVB to team up with the West Virginia State Film Office.
Mhm.
But we're the only county in the state that participates with the State Film Office. And the State Film Office is very small, mom and pop, 2 people.
Mhm.
Actually, I think they just hired a 3rd person. But we go out there, and the first year we went, it was the actor's strike, and there was COVID finishing up, so it was rough the first year. Last year, we got a lot of leads, and then we're starting to see them come through and do films now. Last year was 100 films done in West Virginia, small to big, and then we have a lot more coming this year.
Great.
We got a lot of great leads last week.
All right. What's your pleasure on the
I'll make a
property use
motion
agreement with
to
Blackbird Movie?
sign a contract with Blackbird LLC to use the courthouse and facilitate this movie over the next month and a half.
I'll second.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Let's have it. Thank you.
Just let them know this is my good side.
It's wine.
Now you gotta get us a acting role in this thing.
No,
HD.
Mr. Cannon, not me.
And Sarah could play To Kill the Mockingbird sequel.
Yeah,
Imagine it.
Yeah.
When he fit that.
Yeah, for sure.
The last item I have is a use agreement or an agreement between yourself and the city of Martinsburg for your IT department's GIS division to perform addressing within the city of Martinsburg. Historically, we've done the addressing in Berkeley County for about 13 years. Prior to that, we did it contractually, but in all of that time, the city performed the functions by themselves. It's a challenge. You might ask a certain ex-retired police captain of how some addresses were and weren't inside the county when they went to respond. It's awful good then to have some experience because certain standards weren't met. So we've been working with the city manager and his team, and that we've come to an agreement. Actually, the city's already went through the process on their end and authorized moving forward if you so choose to do it for them. It's a good thing. It's not much work for us. Remember that folks who pay 911 fees, it doesn't matter if they're in the city or county, the city residents are paying the fees. So for us to do the work, we're already compensated to do it. We can do it to the typical standard, which is the national standard, just puts a one-stop shop for purposes of address assignment. We aren't talking about readdressing. We're not going backwards. Whatever's there is there. But moving forward, we would assign them to the standards to which we do the rest of the county.
And that's almost an immediate upload to our GIS
It
mapping.
is immediate. The
Yeah.
second it's assigned, it's in the 911 center's data set. So
And that's real helpful
Yeah.
to emergency services, so. Anybody have any further questions for Gary on this? I entertain a motion to approve and
It's
give
just
the president the authority to sign the document.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. That's going to bring us to the end of our agenda. There is no need for executive session. I'll entertain a motion to recess.
Mr. President, I move that we recess.
We are in recess.